And also being joined now by Dave Ford, who used to pitch for the Orioles late 70s, early 80s. And I understand the two of you spent some time today out on the golf course a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, do we want to talk about that right now? What is your handicap again, by the way? It's on public now. What do you have to tell them it is? A what?
10.
At 11? 11? Oh, okay. Got a lot of strokes today, and he kicked everybody.
I had a good day, which is very unusual when you play with Rick, because Rick's obviously a player. And first time I seen Rick struggle a little, which is very unusual. But, you know, tomorrow's another day. Golf is a funny game. So,
Dave, tell us about your activities now since you've been out of baseball.
Since I retired, I've worked in the city of Rocky River, which is outside of Cleveland. I manage a civic center. It's a recreation complex. I've done that for 30 years now. So I've got a 16-year-old at home, and who's very challenging, but it's fun.
What's it like coming back here to Baltimore and then standing out, out by the warehouse and signing some autographs and things?
It's great. I love coming back. The people are so polite and genuine, and they appreciate you coming out. It's a treat for me. I had a chance to walk around the corridor and look at Palmer and Steve Stone and Mike Flanagan and the Cy Young Award winners, and brought back a lot of memories. It's just it was a great time in my career and my life, and it was a great group of guys that I was fortunate to play with. So,
Dave, I got to talk a little bit about, we had a lot of great games together, and we went through a nice little era where the Orioles together, too, that it was always memorable. But you did something that Chris Tillman has been experiencing lately, too. A starter all of a sudden out of the bullpen and then back into the starting role again. What goes through your mind when you have to experience that role, then a bit of a demotion to the bullpen, and then back in the starting role again?
Well, when I was in that role, it was very difficult because I would be in the bullpen and I would sit a long time. Our starters were outstanding at that time. I would go 10 days without getting in a game, and I'd go 2-0 on somebody, and I'd hear this voice from the dugout screaming at me. I'm like, 2-0, really? So it was difficult. I mean, I was a starter. I was always a starter in the minors, and I preferred to be a starter. But, our starting staff at that time was, if not the best in baseball, in the top 3, that was that good. And so I was, for me, it was always a battle in spring training to make the club. And, again, fortunate to pick up a lot of things from Mike Flanagan and Jim Palmer. But it is a tough role. You got to be mentally tough and to handle that, because, if you have a success in a start and then now you're back in the bullpen, you're going, what did I do wrong? But sometimes it's just a numbers thing. So you just got to have a tough makup, really.
How was it to play for Earl Weaver?
I liked Earl. I mean, I really did. And Earl was good to me. I mean, it was, he didn't pull any punches. You knew where you stood, and you weren't going to get the pat on the back. You just, and you didn't really, I didn't need that. I knew if I pitched well, then that's all I needed. But Earl was good. Although, one quick story, we were in Cleveland, and I hadn't pitched in a while, and my sister gave me a call and says, well, I just talked to your manager. I said, what do you mean you talked to my manager? She said, I talked to Earl at the hotel. You're going to get in a game tonight. I go, you didn't do that, did you? And so went to the ballpark, and I'm walking around gingerly, and I hear Earl yelling for me, and he goes, so you're going to get in tonight? And I go, I don't know. What? He goes, I talked to your sister. And I went, oh. I got in, though. I told her never to call him again. Ever call him again.
Well, Dave, we appreciate you coming up, spending a few moments with us. Enjoy your stay here in Baltimore.